Promise of tomorrow. Fuck yeah.
Starbucks.
Fuck yeah.
Disney World.
Fuck yeah.
Big tits.
Fuck yeah.
Allium.
Fuck yeah.
Sushi.
Fuck yeah.
Taco Bell.
Fuck yeah.
Rodeos.
Fuck yeah.
And beyond.
Fuck yeah.
Liberty.
Fuck yeah.
Wax lips.
Fuck yeah.
Alamo.
Fuck yeah.
Band-Aid.
Fuck yeah.
NFL.
Fuck yeah.
Rock and roll.
Fuck yeah.
Internet.
Fuck yeah.
Slavery.
Fuck yeah.
America.
Fuck yeah.
In an ironic twist of fate, I actually got fired from the Navy. But not for giving too many blowjobs, I want to make that clear. There's no such thing as too many blowjobs in the Navy. I actually got kicked out for obstructing justice. I.e., no, I'm not going to tell you if that person is gay or not, sure. So anyway, there I am, jobless, again, can't move home, parents have moved into a one-bedroom apartment. So, San Francisco it is, right? So in the Navy I was a corpsman, which is basically the doctor of the boat. So when I got to San Francisco, I found a great job as a nurse with one of these amazing doctors. The only problem was, coming from the Navy, where everyone is at peak physical condition, to working for a doctor in the Castro at the turn of the century, well, it was a little more than this emotional boy could handle. You see,
Everybody has AIDS.
oh,
AIDS.
stop, that's awful.
What? It's
Don't.
the same show. I
No, don't do that. That's terrible. I'm so sorry. Terrible.
thought, guys are fucked up. Get leave. I'm sorry.
Anyways, so there I am. Can't do that job anymore. Too much for me. I can't handle it. So my best friend AJ gets me my very first temp job. Records clerk. Sadly, it paid more than the nurse. But I wasn't really meant to be in an office. I'm, an actor, a creative. I'm supposed to be up here. So I joined a chorus and I just continued to temp. This is where I honed my customer service skills. I've got an iPad, smartphone, 3D TV, and TiVo with a Blu-ray DVD. I've got an Xbox, PS3, and a Wii. I'm the poster boy for technology. I'm on Facebook and Tumblr and I'm LinkedIn. Can't count how many YouTube clips I'm in. You can follow my tweets to see where I've been, and we'll look up on A for some virtual sin. Well, you might think it's the perfect life, every modern convenience, no strife, but keeping it all running's running me to the bone. And God help me when I call tech support on the phone. Oh, you know how that goes. Press 1 to stay on hold for the rest of your life. Press 2 to be cut off. 3 to leave a message. We'll respond to the day that hell cools off. Your call will be dropped in the order received, but there's no need to fuss, because we want you to know your call's important to us. Well, I finally say hi to some guy in Mumbai who says his name is Jim. He had me try 20 things I've tried before. I start to think of 20 things to try on him. Jimmy he wastes about an hour and a half of my time, then delivers the worst news of all. According to the policy, without a warranty, I have to pay for the call. Oh, did Mozart need a laptop? I don't think so. Columbus sailed the world without GPS. When Jesus hit the streets, did he tweet? So when the network's down, how come my life is such a mess? Here I am, stories old, mad as hell, stuck on hold, and they're playing my song. Press 1 to stay on hold for the rest of your life. Press 2 to be cut off. 3 to leave a message. We'll respond to the day that hell cools off. Your call will be dropped in the order received, but there's no need to fuss, because we want you to know your call's important to us. So press a 1 to stay on hold for the rest of your life. Press 2 to be cut off. 3 to leave a message. We'll respond to the day that hell cools off. Your call will be dropped in the order received, but there's no need to fuss, because we value your business. Our goal is excellent service. There may be 90 calls ahead of you in our queue, but at the risk of repeating myself, your call's important to us. So it was during this series of nondescript law office jobs that I finally succumbed to the San Francisco hello, i.e. I tried reefer for the first time. Yeah. So, don't get me wrong, I was raised by hippie parents in the band who, when in high school, they stopped us and said, "Hey, do your friends smoke pot? And if they do, can they get us a good price on an eighth?" So, of course, our way of rebelling was not doing drugs. Weirdos. So, during this time, I had just finished cleaning Mrs. Smith's entire 2-bedroom apartment as a surprise for her wife when she was away. And as a reward, Miss Smith takes me into the kitchen, she fixes me a cocktail, and she passes me a loaded bong. And I'm like, thank you, but I don't smoke pot. I don't do drugs.
Wait a minute, stop. I got you high for the first time.
Yeah.
Are you kidding?
And you totally forced me.
I didn't. You can't rape the willing.
I was so not willing.
Please.
I'd never.
Okay, well maybe I didn't force you.
Try to say no to her.
Come on, Cheney, suck it down for Miss Smith. Come on, Cheney, suck it down for Miss Smith.
No, I'm really okay. I can do without it. It's fine.
Come on, Cheney, suck it down for Miss Smith. Come on, Cheney, suck it down for Miss Smith.
Okay, thank you. Thank you, though.
Come on, Cheney, suck it down for Miss Smith. Come on, Cheney, suck it down for Miss Smith. Come on, Cheney, suck it down for Miss Smith. Come on, Cheney, suck it down for Miss Smith. Come on, Cheney, suck it down for Miss Smith. Come on, Cheney, suck it down for Miss Smith.
Don't Shane, don't do it, don't be a fool. Don't Shane, don't do it, don't be a fool. Don't you do it, 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 yeah! Okay, just this once. Okay, alright, that's fine. So I go on, we're talking and we're just chatting, and 20 minutes or so goes by, and Miss Smith stops and she looks at me in the eye and she goes, "Get out!" I'm like, why? What's happening? What's good? "Get your stuff." And she shoves me out the door. I'm confused as hell, but I start walking home, and I can barely stay upright. I am so high that I'm literally holding the wall all the way home. This is 4 blocks I had to go. High as a kite, and of course, because I'm so high, the San Francisco Police Department is right there on my corner, having a recruiting drive. Have you ever seen a giant trying the invisible? I managed to sneak by them very, very subtly and get into my house. And I wasn't there 2 minutes when I had passed out for 12 hours. I literally woke up in the middle of the night, hungrier than I've ever been in my entire life, swearing to God I would never smoke pot again, ever. Well, I know we had a board meeting the next day. So, I started smoking the reefer weed. But,
No, it totally opened you up.
it did. It really, all of a sudden I was doing more weird, interesting, funny, different things, like community theater. That's always fun. I got to play some real characters. Got to hone my accents. You know which one's my favorite, right? German. Then I was just a lad in lederhosen. My mama said to me, I'm sorry to tell you, this life is a hell. You must suffer till death sets you free. I started to cry. Mama took out a handkerchief and swatted away my tears. She said, stop it! She was not a warm person. She said, Liebchen, you have to tough it out. But if you're faithful and devout, in the end, I promise you, it gets better. Then the good Lord comes and he takes your hand. You're on your way to dancing with the angels. When you hear the sound of the heavenly band, the music will wash all your cares away. Ashes to ashes, so dust to dust, as your remains crumble into the earthly crust. Your soul will spread its wings and take off to heaven, and then you will be dancing with the angels. And I said, Mama, you make me so happy, I cannot wait to dance with the angels. And I thought to myself, when I grow up and become a man, I want to help the people dance with the angels. Oh, if I work real hard, I know I can find a way to end the mortal strife. Ashes to ashes, so dust to dust. If I can hurry things along, you know I must. I grow up and become a man. I help the people dance with the angels. And so I grow up. Like my father before me, I worked in the mines. Herr Gruber was lead engineer. Then the coal dust ignited, I got so excited. My calling was suddenly clear. Then I heard the boom, and I saw the crash. I know Herr Gruber was dancing with the angels. Oh. If I could make the boom and I could make the flash, at last I could fulfill my destiny. Ashes to ashes, to dust to dust. If the boom's not big enough, ha! I can adjust. Then I make the boom and I make the flash. I get to choose who dances with the angels. So I studied black powder and dynamite too, and bottles of nitro and gel ignite goo, and ways to explode them without losing fingers. You know I created some real humdingers. My first he was a general, my second was a priest. Before too long 3 judges and a jury were deceased. 4 landing husbands, 5 unfaithful wives. My work to date in summary, 67 lives. So, Pacing 68 today, you ask me, am I done yet? The only question which I ask myself is, are we having fun yet? Yes, I think so! Each time I hear the boom and I see the crash, another soul is dancing with the angels. Then the world goes bang, the world goes crash. St. Peter has to open up his gate. Ashes to ashes, so dust to dust. Then it's mayhem, you want to think who coughs, the name you trust. Then I hear the boom and I see the crash. I know another soul is dancing, and another soul is dancing. Everybody's dancing with the angels. It was during this wonderful time in my life when I finally started dating. Love comes when you least suspect it. Love dances in on a whim. I thought maybe I could direct it, but I never expected a guy like him. He was a bully and a brute. He was as crazy as I could, still I didn't give a hoot. He was my boyfriend. With every person he would flirt, he always treated me like dirt. Still I was happy to be hurt. He was my boyfriend. I was as pure as a virgin meadow, lying with Victor in the gloom. Then he turned to me, that charmer, whispered, let's play farmer. Then plowed me till the cows came home. He was a monster, but a beast. His midnight bangings never ceased. It didn't faze me in the least. He was my boyfriend. I'll never forget the first time I met Victor. It was on the village green during the annual Bock Beer Festival, when every beer cost a bock. I was an innocent young lamb. He was a dirty old goat. We were made for each other. All of a sudden, he whipped out his paraphernalia and said, let's play croquet! And off to the fields we went. He carried his hoops and mallets, and I carried his balls. Ah, what a festival! Fun and games all day. Archery, badminton, potato sack. Victor won the three-legged race all by himself. It was love at first sight. He was the one who I gave my heart to, but we never wed even so. If I mentioned wedlock, he put me in a headlock. Then I asked to be his wife, he stabbed me with a kitchen knife. Ah, where did the good times go? Then he had an angry fit, I was the first thing that he hit. But I didn't give a shit. He was my boyfriend. Yes! That's what they say I've got. Or maybe they say I'm not playing with a full deck. But hey, what the heck can I do? Maybe I've got a screw loose for you. Bonkers, that's what they're calling me. Not metaphorically, they mean truly insane. but they can't hear the voice in my brain giving orders to keep loving you. Darling, it's oh God. Heart, I don't even know where we are.
There's something about toys, I don't know what it is.
I am very erratic. It is eccentric and erratic.
It's in the PMF, that's all I know.
Oh, sorry.
Eccentric.
Erratic. Toys in the belfry. That's in the attic. But I just don't see the harm with carving your name in my arm. Darling, it's so hard to be 16 and schizo, but I know it's worth the cost. I've made up my mind, which I have lost. Screwless, clinically certified. A panel of doctors tried to lock me away, but until that day, when they finally do. Yeah, I know, shut up. I'll be here if you need a loose screw. So for a further in-depth look into the twisted inner workings of my mind, I'd like to bring up Tom Turco.
Wow, that's amazing.
Tom
And Scott.
McElroy and Scott Turco. Jesus. Well, they're already almost married. Too soon. Too soon.
When a fellow needs a little helping hand, who'd be there? It's almost guaranteed. No one else could ever really understand. Only another man knows what you need. And when a man has fallen down upon his knees, in such a moment would be better than someone who's self-controlled, someone who's strong and bold, someone who's good as gold. It's better with a man.
Better with a
You
man.
know what I'm saying?
When a man is lonely, he can always find another man who's feeling just the same. Drink will help you get your troubles off your mind. You'll both be blind before you know his name. In that rousing climax when his horse comes in, who will cheer as loudly as he can? Only a man could see the meaning of victory. Oh, the camaraderie, it's better with a man.
Better with a man.
Women have much to recommend.
Lord knows I've had my share.
But when a fellow needs a friend,
That's a totally different affair.
women are so wrestle with.
But when the sport is masculine,
You need a man to wrestle with.
gentlemen have secrets they will
Gentlemen
never
have
tell.
secrets they will never tell. They'll never tell their wives.
Married men know there are things you must not say.
Discretion is the only way that love survives.
Men are always there,
They're always there, always there,
nothing
sharing
can
their
come
mistakes. Brothers, take a look at us. It's been ever thus since boarding school began.
Women are too complex.
Women too often vex.
Men are the simpler sex. It's better with a man.
Better with a man.
Better with a man. Better with a man.
What's up?
Yeah, newsflash, so Shane is like really gay. And now that he's in Los Angeles with all the pretty people, good job, Scott. Now that he's in Los Angeles with all the pretty people, he's trying to figure out where he fits in, which seems to be the background of a Sarah Silverman music video. I mean, we all know that Shane should be the lead, because it's all about him, right? Or it should be. To provide some thoughts on this matter, please welcome to the stage Miss Stephanie London.
The big sound of music, auditions had come. I sang both my songs, had them under my thumb. I told them I had my heart set on Maria. If I got the Baroness, I might say see ya. Then up went the list on the call board upstairs. I looked for my name and I saw it right there. It said nun number 7. Nun number 7? I went to the library, studied the score. I found my 3 lines, couldn't find any more. Then I realized the Nazis' black car represents the whole theme of deceit. Then the story gets tense. That car is what they must drive off in the end. And this is significant, no one befriends them. The joke's on the Nazis, the nuns are all liars. And I play the nun who steals the distributor wires. So who's Miss Maria? Stand back, Miss Maria. What's that? Who's she? It's all about me. In fall I got brave and auditioned again for a stage adaptation of Gone with the Wind. I told them how naturally southern I am. They said, my dear, frankly, we don't give a damn. But we do need a girl to wear blackface and play in a walk on a Scarlet's young midwife and slave and help birthing her babies. I don't know nothing about birthing no babies. Well, mad as I was, I perused through the script, thinking that once again I had been gypped. Then I realized one thing that I hadn't before. Their child was symbolic of the whole Civil War. Her birth was the birth of the Southern plantation. When she falls off her horse, so does the nation. That girl would have never been born if they didn't have me. So who's Miss O'Hara? Who cares about Tara? What's that? Who's she? It's all about me. When we did the best little whorehouse in Texas, tell me, why did the audience roar? Now be analytical, my part was critical. What's
competition in LA is pretty stiff.
I met this girl. She's really nice. Her name is Sarah Hurston Weiss. She looks a lot like me, but that dress kinda makes her look fat. If I were her, I'd hide that hair in a hat.
I met this girl who's really cute. She's really talented to boot. Her name is Petulia. And I heard that she is a great actor. Too bad she uses imitation Max Factor.
There can only be one of my type in this town, and it's bad enough that I'm short. There can only be one still standing her ground after the coroner's report. I met this girl, she's really nice. I bet that she has pubic lice she got from her ex-boyfriend.
Gay, you idiot.
Or just because she's a whore. A dirty, ugly whore.
I met this girl who's really cute with a face I'd like to shoot. She's always taking my part.
Because I'm good.
Well, at least I can sing on key. La 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 la, look at me.
There can only be one entrepreneur's best friend, and I'm gonna get cast in this show, you little fucker. There can only be one left alive in the end, and I'll tell you how far I will go. I will go to her agent and tell them she's pregnant. Create a few nasty detours.
I'll go to the office and file a report. She's been taking non-equity tours.
I will blacklist her name and say she hates gays. Tell her manager she's shopping around.
I'll post nude pics of her on the web, 'cause horse face is so going down.
I hate you so damn much. Please die. When the smoke has cleared away,
On that happy day of days,
when I'm on Broadway, and all my dreams are revealed, they'll find what's left of her head in a field. Why do they all have to move in next door? Can't they just take the hint and get going first? Just when your champagne's ready to pour, some bitch of a whore gets her foot in the door. Right when you get a toe in, there can only be one of me in this town, and I'm sticking my neck out in front. There can only be one still standing her ground, you fat friggin' cow of a cunt! Can we play sisters? Oh, sure. That'd be fine. But you better watch your back, you big stupid bitch, 'cause I'll be watching you every line.
Hey Sacramento, what's up? Glad you made it, Lorenzo. I was worried. I got a mask for you if you want it. My head's bigger than yours, so I'm gonna leave it at that. Well, welcome, because now we are moving into the lament section of the show, the villain's lament. Now, both Shane and I have feelings. We have deep heartache about leaving San Francisco to find ourselves. 2 years ago, I rewrote the lyrics to the song Royals by Australian artist Lord. I hate it when lyrics remain relevant, and I can't believe a certain somebody is still around. Join in on the refrain if you're feeling it. They've never seen a diamond in the flesh. I see a lot of made-up things in the movies, and I'm not proud of my address. In a torn-up town, no post lumber everywhere, and everybody's like, stupid black thug got what he deserved. Well, he's a fool to talk back to the cops. We don't care. We're caught up in Trump's hair, and we'll never be royals. I'm barely making minimum wage. That kind of dough just ain't enough. Just buying food is really tough. Let me be your ruler. You can call me Stephanie, and maybe I'll rule. Let me live that fantasy. My friends are leaving or depressed, afraid to ask for what they need from the landlord. I want to know when this will end. City Hall has sold us to the highest bidder, but everyone's like, time to move out, we gotta build the condos. Sorry if you don't have $1 million and we don't care. We need free Wi-Fi everywhere, and everybody's like, sorry if you can't pay your bills. So what if you can't afford your pills? We don't care. We're still talking about Trump's hair, and we'll never be royals. I just want to live my life. I want to trust my government. Come on and please bring down the rent. Let me be your ruler. And please just call me Stephanie, and maybe I'll rule. Let me live that fantasy. We're poorer than we ever dreamed, and he's in love with being mean. Kind of money, it's just not how I would do my hair. And we'll never be royals. Barely making minimum wage. That kind of dough just ain't enough. Just buying food is really tough. Let me be your ruler. And you can call me Stephanie, and baby I'll rule. Thank you. Please welcome back to the stage the star of this show, Mr. Shane Kroll.
Thanks, Stephanie. It's a hell of a thing to know that once you have to move, you can never come back again. That this is the last place you will ever live in San Francisco. The city that you love and that you have given so much to. Having already chosen a life of semi-austerity where you sacrifice many of the comforts of modern day, like dishwashers and washing machines, in exchange for the low rumble of Mission Street mornings, to live like you're in a perpetual state of being a college student, in the sense that you reside amongst many generations of other people's stuff, mixed matched spoons and cutlery, a revolving door of roommates and their things. Oftentimes, no one knows or remembers where these droplets of ephemera even came from. But now, they're part of the house, and essentially part of your life, because you can never leave. Living in San Francisco and having rent control has become a kind of golden handcuff. If you ever need to move or get evicted, you have to essentially trade in your San Francisco citizenship. The Visigoths are at the gates, and they will gladly take your place, thinking that they've moved into something special, without realizing all the while that they are pushing out the specialness like spin art. You are the drops of paint that make the color. But the faster things spin, all that's left are the streaks showing where you used to be. My name is Sister Chiquita Bacata Mundi. For Halloween I'm dressing up as Sister Chiquita Bacata Mundi. I've been around a long time, and I still go to the Castro on Halloween. Let me tell you a story. Long ago, we sisters hosted Halloween in the Castro as a fundraiser. Oh yes, there were queens like you've never seen, shows and donations, all for charity. It was a big success. Each year more people came. 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 Crowds became unruly. Crowds became unruly. Crowds 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 Queens were attacked by drunken bashers. Queens were attacked by drunken bashers. Then in 1994, there were over 50 arrests. More arrests than sisters. More arrests than sisters. Police confiscated garbage cans full of baseball bats, axes, knives, and an AK-47. Sisters were so much taller then. In '95, we there was no alternative. Given our resources, there was no alternative. Baseball bats, axes, knives, weapons used to take lives, and an AK-47, AK-47, AK-47. And then in '02, 5 people were stabbed. And then in '02, 5 people were stabbed. Baseball bats, axes, knives, weapons used to take lives, and an AK-47, AK-47, AK-47. And then in '04, someone brought a chainsaw. A chainsaw. A chainsaw. Baseball bats, axes, knives, weapons used to take lives, and an AK-47, AK-47, AK-47. And then in '06, 9 people were shot. And then in '06, 9 people were shot. Baseball bats, axes, knives, weapons used to take lives, and an AK-47, AK-47. Baseball bats, axes, knives, weapons used to take lives, and an AK-47, AK-47, AK-47. I love Halloween, but I think we did the right thing. Those murderers are still out there. That last Halloween in the Castro was in 2007. It was an end of an era when they canceled it for good. But, oddly enough, that would be the beginning of the best 5 years of my life. I found my first boyfriend, I had my own 4-bedroom flat right at the corner of Gay and Gayer. Miss Smith and I were both working at nonprofits where we were actually helping people, both homeless and artists. Not that those two are the same thing. Well, okay, now they are. But as it always does, perfect never lasts. And you know, we broke up, and shortly thereafter, we got evicted. And then began 5 years of floating between 15 different home addresses. It was in my 3rd night of acting class when my cousin had just died at the age of 21. And he died doing what he loved the most. And it really hit me that I don't want to have lived without doing what I love. And so in my acting class, I said right out loud, I am an actor, through and through, forever and ever, amen. The next day, of course, I lost my job.
And while he's crashing and burning, I did too. My marriage ended publicly and dramatically. I was fired from a high-profile job publicly and dramatically. And then about 5 years ago, my new wife came to me one day and she said, I cannot be in the Bay Area one more day. I can't stand it anymore. I want to move to Portland and open my own company. So we moved to Portland. Anyone who says San Francisco made Portland or tries to compare Portland with San Francisco really needs to take a seat. They're nothing alike. They're nothing alike. And now I sit in my beautiful, dialed down new city, and I wonder what my purpose is in life.
There are 3 purposes to my life. First is to be of service to people. Second is to bring joy and laughter. The third is to fight for what's just and right for everyone. I lucked into this really amazing temp job that turned permanent at a company called Nextdoor, which is really a nice company where they encourage neighbors to get to know each other again. Weird stuff. But it was while I was working there, and I really loved what I was doing, that we got blindsided with what I can only call the ugliness of man. I would see things like, black man walking, beware, must be up to no good, call the police. It is the intellect and mental makeup of an African man to be sneaky, dirty, underhanded thieves and liars. Catapult the beaners over the wall. I would have shot him, dragged him inside, and then kicked my own door in. Get a rope. It was then that I realized I had found the job that would fulfill my final purpose. You see, I have only ever loved 3 men, and they have all been men of color. So I have felt the fear of losing my love to white fear and panic. And it's a hatred that I just can't wrap my mind around. And my heart just can't stand it, and I can't see it without acting. Climb upon my knee, sonny boy. You are finally free, sonny boy. You've no way of knowing, I've no way of showing what you mean to me, sonny boy. When there are gray skies, I don't mind those gray skies. You make them blue, sonny boy. Friends may forsake me, let 'em all forsake me. You pull me through, sonny boy. You're sent from heaven, and I know your worth. You made a heaven for me right here on earth. Oh, and when I'm old and gray, dear, promise you won't stray, dear. I love you so, sonny boy. You're sent from heaven, and I know your worth. You made a heaven for me right here on earth. Oh, and the angels, they grew lonely. They took you 'cause they're lonely. Now I'm lonely too, sonny boy. strange fruit, blood on the leaves, and blood at the root, black bodies swinging in the southern breeze, strange fruit hanging from the poplar trees, pastoral scene of the gallant South, them big bulging eyes and the twisted mouth, scent of magnolia, clean and fresh. Then the sudden smell of burning flesh. Here is a fruit for the crows to pluck, for the wind to batter, for the rain to suck, for the sun to rot, for the leaves to drop. Here is a strange and bitter Thank you for this last piece. I'm presenting something reworked for modern time. Good evening, America. Allow me first to apologize for this interruption. I do, like many of you, appreciate the comforts of the everyday routine, the security of the familiar, the tranquility of television. I enjoy them as much as anyone. But in the spirit of commemoration, whereas important events from the past, usually associated with someone's death or the end of some awful, bloody struggle, are celebrated with a nice holiday or a statue, I thought we could mark this November the 5th, a day which is certainly no longer remembered, by taking some time out of our daily lives to sit down, have a little chat. There are, of course, those who do not want us to speak. I suspect even now orders are being shouted into telephones, and men with guns will soon be on their way. Why? Because while the truncheon may be used in lieu of conversation, words will always retain their power. Words offer us means to meaning, and for those who will listen, the enunciation of truth. And the truth is, there's something terribly wrong with this country, isn't there? Cruelty, injustice, intolerance, and oppression. And where once you had the freedom to object, to think or kneel as you saw fit, you now have censors and systems of surveillance coercing your conformity and subjecting your submission. how did this happen? Who is to blame? Well, certainly there are those who are more responsible than others, and they will be held accountable. But again, truth be told, if you're looking for the guilty, you need only look into a mirror. I know why you did it. I know you were afraid. Who wouldn't be? War, terror, immigrants. There are a myriad of problems conspiring to corrupt your reason and rob you of your common sense. Fear got the better of you. And in your panic, you turned to the now United States President, Donald Trump. He promised you order. He promised you peace. And all he demanded in return was your silent, obedient respect. Last night, I sought to end that silence. Last night, I destroyed the Robert E. Lee statue to remind this country of what it has forgot. Nearly 200 years ago, a great citizen wished to forever embed the 5th of November into our memory. His hope was to remind the world that fairness, justice, and freedom are more than just words. They are perspectives. So if you've seen nothing, if the crimes of this government remain unknown to you, then I suggest you allow the 5th of November to pass unmarked. But if you've seen what I've seen, if you feel as I feel, and if you would seek, as I seek, an end to their tyranny and freedom from this oppression, then I ask you to stand beside me 1 year from now, outside the voting booth, and together we shall give them a 5th of November that shall never, ever be forgot. I guess I'd be a hero with sword and armor clashing, looking semi-dashing, a shield within my grip. Or else I'd be a Viking and live a life of daring while smelling like a herring. Upon a Viking ship I'd sail away, I'd see the world, I'd reach the farthest reaches, I'd feel the wind, I'd taste the salt and sea, and maybe storm some beaches. That's who I'd be. That's who I'd be. Or I could be a poet and write a different story, one that tells of glory and wipes away the lies. Into the skies I'd throw it, the stars would do the telling, the moon would help with spelling, and night would dot the eyes. I'd write a verse, recite a joke with wit and perfect timing. I'd share my heart, confess the things I yearn, and do it all while rhyming. That's what we all learn. But we all learn. An ogre always hides. An ogre's fate is known. An ogre always stays in the dark and all alone. So yes, I'd be a hero, and if my wish were granted, life would be enchanted, or so the stories say. Of course I'd be a hero, and I would scale a tower to save a hothouse flower and carry her away. But standing guard would be a beast, I'd somehow overwhelm it. I'd get the girl, I'd take a breath, and I'd remove my helmet. We stand and stare, we speak of love we share, stars ascending, whichever kiss I find my destiny. I'd have a hero's ending, a perfect happy ending. That's how it would be. A big, bright, beautiful world, but not for me.
Always hides, and of his fate is known.
An ogre always stays in the dark. All alone. So yes, I'd be a hero, and I would save the tower, save a hothouse flower, and carry her away. Of course I'd be a hero, and I would scale a tower to save a hothouse flower and carry her away. A perfect happy ending, that's how it should be. So we did prepare an encore for you because we wanted to make sure and leave you laughing. So, as always, the one thing that ruins Halloween more than anything else, Christmas. We're going to do a Christmas song for you. Thank you.
Before we do, we got some thank yous. Can we thank Society Cabaret and the Hotel Rex, please? Once again, they have stuff here all the time, so do check them out. It's a lot of fun here. And when we are done with this next tune, you don't have to go home, but you can't stay here. And neither can we. So we are going to walk out the door and take a left because there's another bar. And we're going to go there, so you can find us in the other room. Stephanie London's sitting over there, that awesome chick. She has her own show in February, and it's going to be right here, so do check that out. And I am Miss Smith. I have a class in Sacramento. Yeah, next Saturday the 21st. Thank you, Lorenzo. I'm going to go up there and give some abuse. So do go to my Facebook page and like it, because you're probably wondering what all of these awesome songs were and from whence they came, yes?
Yes.
I hate programs because I want your eyes up here, and I don't want to blow any surprises. So I will publish the set list on my fan page. And you know, if you don't want to like my page, I'll tag Shane it on Facebook. You know how that works. We're having some fun up here, Miles, with the sound. So, all right. So this one, those two fabulous opera pieces. The first one that we started with, and then Sister's Tale. Those are from Halloween in the Castro by Jack Dabowski. He is very diverse. He's a diverse composer. He's diverse. I think we have to call it that. Porn is diverse. Don't you think?
Let's do a turn.
Well, hey man, you gotta make money somehow, right? He's got a lot of scoring. I mean, like film scoring. Never mind, I'm done. So he also writes choral pieces, and this is one that the Lesbian Gay Chorus of San Francisco premiered at the Castro Theater, and then everyone talked about us in the papers for like 3 years. It was the best PR ever. Tell me what the song is, Jim Arthur.
Magic Snow.
That's right, baby.
No.
Give your pitches again.
Need my pitch. I'm on top.
like a trucker. He's big, hairy, and in the transportation business. Talk about an all-night long haul. Santa's gotta cover the globe in just under 24 hours. No time for pulling those reindeer over for some shut-eye on the next off-ramp. Did you ever stop and wonder, just how exactly does Santa do it?
How does Santa make his sleigh go all night Christmas Eve? How does Santa stay awake when everyone's asleep? Magic snow, magic snow, magic snow, magic snow, magic snow, magic snow, magic snow. Hey, it's magic snow. So how does Santa make his sleigh go, bringing all the goods? How does Santa stay awake when nobody else could? Magic snow, magic snow, magic snow, magic snow, magic snow, magic snow. Yay, it's magic snow.
Now, kids, it's real nice of you to leave out those milk and cookies for old St. Nick. But if he has a sugar cone on Christmas Eve, well, that just won't do. We don't want Santa's sleigh to miss the neighbor's roof, so why don't you go ask Mom and Dad for a little pinch of something to leave out for old St. Nick, just to get him through that long and snowy night. Magic snow, magic snow, magic snow,
He just gives us nothing right out of
magic snow, magic snow, magic snow. Yay, it's magic snow. Magic snow, magic snow, magic snow, magic snow, magic snow, magic snow. Yay, it's magic snow. Yay, it's magic snow.
I